Okay, so here we are inside 486. Give you a quick rundown with everything off here, just to see what it looks like. Kind of boring. um, so let's get some power going here. You'll see my radar detector firing up, and this is my JVC head unit, and my PLX devices DM200 multi-gauge, and turn on my GPS. And we'll turn on my GPS. There we go. Nice little splash there. So let's start with the head unit. This is a JVC double DIN DVD player, blah 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 blah. Shows you the display setup that I've got here. If you can read that okay. It looks a little bit out of focus here. See, I can get just couple of different things here, equalizer, so forth, so forth. Pretty standard stuff. GPS, as you can see, I've taken out the two fresh air vents in the center. This car does not have air conditioning. I custom ordered this vehicle, and that was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. Never, ever, ever order a vehicle without air. For $1,200 or whatever it is, what a mistake. Even with the top off on a hot day here, 35, 36 degrees, it's almost unbearable. I can't believe I did it. I'm just kicking myself. So anyway, there's the GPS, the DM200. Let me try and get my hand in the right position here. So right now, the default setting, it comes on with what they call a custom gauge, and I can change the gauge to anything I want. There's like, I don't know, 50 different styles of custom gauges that I can use. And then down here, if you can, hang on, got to turn this back on. Down here is a remote control for the gauge, and this lets me control the operations of the gauge. Just turn that flash off. So what I do here, I'm in custom gauge mode right now, but if I want, I can flick up and I go to what they call a 4-parameter mode, and I've got this set up so I can show boost, RPM, speed, and fuel level. I can change that to any of 20 or 30 different parameters. That's just the way I've got it set up right now. I'm going to be putting in a wideband air fuel sensor here, and then I'll probably replace the fuel level, because who really cares about that? And then as we go up, that gives me a graph of the boost, or I can move across and do RPM graph, I can do speed graph, or fuel level graph. Or if we move up again, we can go into a digital mode, which shows me fuel level at 29% full. Or if I move back, speed again, RPM, and of course boost into digital mode. And then if we move up again, I go to analog. There's boost in analog, RPM, speed, and fuel levels. And then this gauge is actually connected to my OBD2 connector. So if I keep scrolling all the way back down, I can then pull on the OBD2 data, which gives me throttle, RPM, so forth and so forth. And there's a bunch of different screens that I can pull up here. Of course, the vehicle isn't running right now, so a lot of this stuff is not being fed into the system. But that gives you an idea of the complexity of this gauge. It really is such a nice feature. A nice package. It's expensive, but it gives you unlimited data depending on what sensors you put in, and it can all be displayed on a beautiful single gauge. So that's that. There's my radar detector. Down here is the remote unit for the radar, so when it goes off, I can just hit the hit the mute button down here or change settings down here, saving me have to reach up to the dash. This guy, little red light, it's just a USB connection with a thumb drive in there going back to my head unit. So if I want to just quickly upload some music to a thumb drive and plug it in, I can go ahead and play it real quick. And then my pride and joy is my dash lights. These were custom made by a company, I believe, in Edmonton. I don't know. If anyone's interested, let me know and I'll send you the information. But what I did here is I took out the standard gauge faces, which I really hated. They're just so boring, and put in my own design. As you can see, I got Coupe 486 put onto the RPM gauge, and then over here I got the GXP logo put in.
Arrival time 509.
Oh, hang on.
You're still on the fastest route.
It's my GPS going nuts. Hang on, let me turn that off. And I got the upgraded LED package, which gives me a really nice white on maroon setting here. I just love my gauges. It was so much work pulling the dash apart and the design and installation. I shipped my gauges off to get the LEDs soldered onto the circuit boards because I wasn't comfortable doing that myself. It was just a lot of work, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all about the reward at the end, eh? Sitting in there, having a beer, looking at my gauges, just awesome. Love it, love it. So what else do we have in here? I don't think there's too much else. Well, you can't see anything up there. That doesn't matter. 5-speed of course. You can just hear my fan going. I've got a heater in here to keep things warm during winter. I guess really the only thing left to show you in here is behind the driver's seat. And that's where I housed a lot of the electronics. Let's turn the flashback on here. So down here is the PLX devices. This is the brain, so to speak. Down there, USB port, communications port where I can plug into my laptop and do all my data logging and everything directly from this. This is the JVC Sirius Connect unit. That's the actual receiver for the interface that then goes to the Sirius unit, which actually selects everything. Oh, hang on. And over here, of course, is the Bluetooth unit, which allows me hands-free, hands-free, blah 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 with my iPhone and whatnot. We got the fancy pedals, of course, there from the factory. I just wanted to show you one thing in the engine bay that I didn't show you before. This is the boost module for the DM200 gauge. I don't know if you... Let's see if I can get a decent shot of it. You see it there. It's just a little anodized box. Beautiful construction. Those guys do such nice work and do a great job. You see, if I get out of here, hang on. Way too much light. Hang on, let me turn this flash off. Yeah, that made it even better, didn't it? Eh? Well, that's a great job. Anyway, so that's about it. That's my girl. So I hope you enjoyed these pictures and videos. Like I say, any comments, I'd love to hear from anyone. And if there's anything here that anyone was kind of wanted to get to, please give me send me a PM or and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. One other thing I missed here, of course, was the darkened out marker lights. You wouldn't believe how it changed the look of the car just by putting these little guys on. These are awesome. If I think of anything else later on, I'll post it and let you guys know that there's an update. But I think we're pretty much done. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.